Good afternoon, and this is Quant Trade Edge. I just wanted to show you a lovely pattern that emerged on the chart yesterday, intraday, that predicted the late, the afternoon rally starting here at 11 o'clock. Pretty vicious rally all the way back close to the highs. So you know that I'm a big fan of divergences, and you could tell that this low here at 29.08 on the RSI, the low here at 30.09, and the low here at 32.86. So this was higher lows in momentum, and these were lower lows in prices. So that kind of showed you that this push here, had more momentum. This push here to a lower price was slightly less momentum, and this push here to an even lower price was even less momentum. So that kind of sets up for a counter trend move. And there are a couple of things here on the 15-minute chart. The 15-minute chart had the P1 indicator, which actually you would have then bought after the high of that bar was taken out, 39.84 call it, with the stop below this bar, 39.75, so about 9 points. And from 39.84 to 40.28, that's about 44 points off of a 9-point risk. That's one way you could have done this. I was paying more attention to the 5-minute chart, and on the 5-minute chart, if you follow the day's action, you can draw in the waves. You have a down wave, and then you technically had an ABC up here. And this could have been your bar to actually short off of. If you were going for a short trade here, that would have been your risk bar with tremendous risk return. But going back to the structure, let me... don't want to distract you. Let's go back to the structure, put the lines in here. One swing up, then all the way here, one swing up, and then we got an even lower low. And then what basically happened over here is this is our absolute low. We put in a swing, we got a higher high because this high is higher than this previous swing high. And then we came down and we took out that high. So you essentially had a 5-minute U-turn at this spot, which is the exact same spot, the 39.8375. So basically 39.84 gave you a 5-minute U-turn, and it coincided with the 15-minute P1 pattern. And again, even if your stop was low of day, which is the most conservative stop you could have, that would be 39.74. From 39.84, it's a 10-point stop, and on this 10-point stop, you got 44 points. So 4-to-1 risk reward on that. So, and I also just wanted to point out how there are many different ways to enter this, right? I mean, we call it a trade setup. The structure is the cleanest thing, and that would be the U-turn structure that we saw on the 5-minute. I've mentioned, something that I call the RSU pattern, which is just when the RSI goes from below 30 to above 30, like it did on this bar. When you close above that bar, that could be your entry, and that would be the RSU method of doing it. The 2B pattern is something that I believe was Trader Vic had made popular, and that's something that has been around a long time, still works. And on a 2B pattern, you would just look for the previous swing low here. When that gets taken out, the bar that actually takes it out, which is this red bar right here, when you take out the top of that bar, like we did here, that would be where you go long, and your stop is below the low of that bar. So you could see it triggered here, got checked down here, did not stop out, and you got in there. So multiple methods, this RSU method, the 2B method, just watching the structure on the 5-minute. On the, on the 15, if you look at the P1. So, the P1 and the RSU are things that I would say I sort of invented there. I haven't read them anywhere. The 2B is something that, has been around for a long time. I've read it in Trader Vic's work. The U-turn pattern is just basic market structure. I learned that from Linda Raschke's work. So a lot of different indicators are basically trying to do the same thing. The cleanest thing, I always believe, is just the structure, because that is not an indicator. It's not a derivative of price. It is price itself. So anyway, there was a handful of ways to get ahead of that late afternoon rally that we had. Today, if we look at, we gapped down, so that, late afternoon rally was just kind of a short squeeze of sorts in the afternoon. We gap back down. And I haven't looked at this yet, so we can just look at this live. But if this was our low bar, we had a pretty big move here. So we got a higher high, higher than this previous swing high. We got this pullback, and then taking out that high would basically be our U-turn spot. So we got this U-turn up here, came back down into the gut check space, and it's it still kind of remains to be seen what it actually does. And I'm not a huge fan of U-turns made this way, where we have this much of an up move. It probably indicates that we should move to a higher time frame and look at something like a 15-minute. So if I do that, you'll see that we don't really have any kind of structure yet. We have this up move here, down move here, up move here. It's it's really just chopping around, and this isn't a U-turn point yet. So anyway, remains to be seen what happens today. That was just a very clear situation yesterday with many coinciding things, everything from 15-minute divergence to the 15-minute P1 to the 5-minute RSU, the 5-minute 2B, which you could also do on a 15-minute chart, but it's the 2B, and then just the U-turn structure. Anyway, hope to be able to keep up doing some of these from time to time. Hope you enjoy. Put your questions in the comments, and I'll try to do videos addressing your questions. Thank you.